What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and I'm sure, as you've noticed, Rockstar has just announced Red Dead Redemption 2 to actually exist. They've officially confirmed it because we all know over the last 2 or 3 days the internet has been going absolutely crazy ever since Rockstar originally tweeted out a picture of just a Rockstar logo smeared with red. Now, we all know what that meant essentially. I mean, it's pretty basic, but it was well understood by everyone. And then they updated it again. They posted another picture, I believe it was the next day, which basically said the same thing. It was a couple of guys with like cowboy hats and noticeably western silhouettes at a setting sun, with the primary color being red. So everyone was talking about this. That's why I didn't bother talking about it. For a simple reason is everyone was talking about it, and it was just going to be more of the exact same because it was. We all knew what it was. There was only a little bit of information, if any, you could call it. So I didn't really feel like making a video on it. But now that it's official and it's been confirmed that I actually want to talk about it, but probably not for the reason you're expecting. So, first off, we'll get it out of the way. Red Dead Redemption 2 has been announced. I've already said that. There will be a first official trailer this Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So, I think that's like 4 or 5 p.m. My time. Like, I don't know what it is for everyone else's. So, that's the standard stuff. The game is going to release in fall of 2017. So, you're probably looking at, I'd say, probably a September release next year. Think of GTA and just GTA 5 and just go with that most likely. Because that way they just dominate whatever they want. It's Rockstar. When Rockstar release a new game, just the world just stops. It's that simple. The gaming world just stops. Rockstar already have the biggest selling game of all time with Grand Theft Auto 5. Made $1 billion in its opening weekend. Not just sold through $1 billion to retailers, but actually made $1 billion on its first weekend, and I believe it was its first 2 or 3 days. And then, of course, they went on to remain in the charts for like 3 years after release because of the updated and great Xbox One and PS4 versions and the absolutely amazing PC version, which will come into play now in a minute. So the reason why I'm talking about all this and the reason why I'm making a video going to talk about what you're probably not expecting is that Red Dead Redemption 2, when it releases next year, is currently only scheduled for PS4 and Xbox One. So despite them knowing how to program for a PC, because they've already done the PC version of GTA 5. We're not even going to count the old stuff like GTA 4 or Max Payne 3 because it runs on the same engine as GTA 5. But not only because of that stuff, but because the Xbox One and PS4 run on the same style of architecture as a PC does. And obviously, the GTA 5 PC port, as I mentioned a minute ago, was absolutely amazing. It was extremely well optimized, had an insane number of settings, like graphical settings, and it actually had proper quality everything. When you turn everything up to max, the game looks unbelievable, even by still today's standards, and despite the game launching over a year ago. I believe it was over a year ago. Yeah, it was. It wasn't this year, was it? I don't think it was this year. Anyway, you get the idea. The fact is, the game still is. It didn't feel like a port onto PC. It actually felt like a proper PC version. Now, that's extremely rare nowadays. There's very few games that can actually safely say that. Off the top of my head, I remember 2 games which I can safely say that have done that in the last few years. One of which is GTA 5. The other of which is Gears of War 4. I'm sure there is 1 or 2 other examples, but the examples of that are few and far between. So the fact that this isn't coming to PC, or at least it's not announced for PC yet, even if it launches on the same day, but isn't announced until maybe 4 or 5 months from now, or maybe they're going to try pull the whole thing with the PC version that they did last time, and they'll release it on consoles in fall of next year, and then wait 6 months or a year to launch it on PC. Now, fair enough, if that does happen, and it does get launched 6, 8, 12 months after the console version, sure, it's probably going to be a massively, vastly superior port or version, we should say, in every single way. I'm not dogging on the consoles for that, mind you. I'm just saying, when you look at GTA 5, which I've talked about already, even in comparison to the PS4 and Xbox One versions, it runs so much better, and it's just a much better version. I'm not dogging on the consoles for that. It's just, it is, even by PC game standards compared to other PC games and not just the console versions, it's an extremely top quality PC version. So even if Red Dead Redemption 2 does launch much later on PC, of course it'll be a much superior version to the consoles, and it will be a much superior version to every other PC game out there as well. The problem is waiting 6, 8, 10, 12 months. We shouldn't have to, because of reasons I've specified in this video. Now, having said all that as well, worst comes to worst, Red Dead Redemption 2 never hits PC. Now, I don't think that will be the case. For the simple reason is, if you remember, sure, Red Dead Redemption 1 never hit PC. Now, there's allegedly a reason for that. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if it's bullshit. I don't know if it's at face value, whatever. So, because the Xbox 360 and the PS3 are extremely unique architectures versus a PC, and the game Red Dead Redemption 1 was only made for both of those platforms. So, because they had two different versions of the game, both very different from each other. Even the 360 and the PS3 were not alike, even compared to PC, and even without being compared to PC. The architecture of both consoles was very different, even from each other. So it was a big chore and a big undertaking. A lot of time, effort, money, and manpower put in to make both of these versions work as well as they could. They actually had to do a third version from what would essentially be from scratch, from the ground up, to get that running on x86 architecture for a PC version. Now, allegedly, something happened. I don't remember off the top of my head what it was, but something happened where they supposedly lost all the PC source code. Now, like, I'm not even going to get into if I think that's bullshit or, how could that happen, this, that, and the other. But the fact is that they would have had to start, if that's true, they would have had to start over from scratch and redo all of that, and they weren't willing to put in the time, money, effort, and manpower to actually do it. Now, I don't know how long that would take. Okay, I'm not going to pretend I'm some know-it-all. I'm not going to pretend that I know development or anything like that. I don't know how long it would take to fully convert the whole thing over from either the cell architecture to PC, or most likely the what was the Xbox 360 one? Was it it wasn't a tri-core ARM processor. It was a tri-core something processor. I don't remember. I know it was an AMD chip of some sort, but I don't remember the architecture it used. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm not going to pretend I know the effort and time and details of converting either of those over to x86 to work on a PC. I don't know any of that. So either way, they deemed it not worth the time, effort, and money to devote the resources into doing it. So while I do think that's exactly why I do think Red Dead Redemption 2 will eventually get a PC port. I'm not happy about it, mind you, but I don't think it's fair to say, or to assume at this point, that just because the first one didn't come out, because there were allegedly very different special circumstances, that this won't get a PC version, because it's very, very different this time around. Either way, I'm still very disappointed in Rockstar that this is actually happening, and that there's no mention of a PC version at all. Not even will be coming later, not even anything like that. Sure, the game's not out for a year. I'm sure there's more details we'll find out in the meantime. But as it is right now, it's just very disappointing to see that with PC hardware being what it is, and the PC version of GTA 5 being as amazing as it is, and Rockstar being as big and with the amount of resources they have access to, sure, these games, GTA, Red Dead Redemption, obviously because of the scale and scope of the games, they take a huge amount of resources, huge amount of dev teams, huge amount of actual what would you call it, development time as well to get something like this in. But at the end of the day, it's still, I mean, the PC is a very, very relevant platform, and I'm just very disappointed. Now, personally, I'm probably not going to buy Red Dead Redemption 2 on Xbox One or PS4. That may change, but as it stands right now, I'm not doing it because I'm just disappointed. I'm more so doing it because, personally, I never even played Red Dead Redemption 1. I have it on backwards compatibility on Xbox One. I do plan on playing it probably sometime before the end of the year. I might even start it today, to be honest, just because of this news. But it's more so that I was never really into it. No, that could change. You know, there's still a year. I could get into it. I could love Red Dead Redemption 1. We'll see how it goes. But I'm also very disappointed that there's no PC version or even mention or hint of PC version. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that way as well. And I know even if I was interested in it, I probably wouldn't buy it because I'm sick of this happening. Now, I know Rockstar don't give a shit. They're the fucking biggest game developer going, pretty much. They, like I said at the start of the video, at some point, you know, when Rockstar releases a new game, the gaming world just stops. So, I mean, you can, I guarantee you, next year when Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to release, there's going to be no major releases by any studio, probably within like 2 weeks of each side of Red Dead Redemption 2. You're not going to have Call of Duty release a week after, because as big as Call of Duty is, no one gives a fuck about it compared to Red Dead Redemption 2. It's the same with GTA, it's the same with anything they release, really. Well, at least any of their main series, like Red Dead and GTA. People just don't want to go up against Rockstar. It's that simple, and it's completely understandable. Anyway, that's a whole other video. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about the whole situation. Are you a PC gamer who's disappointed that you would possibly be forced to buy it on a console if you wanted to play it? Are you going to hold out for a potential PC version 6 to 12, maybe whatever, 15 months later, even though it would probably be better? Or what's the deal? What are you going to do with it anyway? Let me know all that in the comment section below. You can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter. Details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.